What's up, y'all? Catch Your Word crew. The wait is over. It's time for season 2. You know how we roll. Let's do what we do. Go ahead and take a little break. Warm up your lunch, a little potatoes and steak, because God's got a word that'll give us what we need. Some encouragement, some knowledge, true strength indeed. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Get with this flow. Don't mess up the vibe. Y'all ready? Y'all set? Let's go! Hey everybody, what's up, Catch Your Word crew? I hope you can join me. I hope you can take a little break, eat your little potatoes and steak, and join me for a quick word. Don't be rude. Say, hey, let me know you there. Hey, we live on YouTube and Instagram. Hey, hit that like button, hit that share button. And also, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, okay? Then you get the notifications that I am live at 12 noon, Monday through Friday. Listen, we're going to be obedient to God in this season. And so that is where we are, okay? So, hey to everyone that can take a break and that can join us. God's got a word today, okay? And it's a continuation of yesterday's word. Ooh, so if you missed yesterday's word, go on YouTube. Okay, go on YouTube. That would be season 2, episode 3. Go on there and see that one again. It's only about 15 minutes, 13 minutes long, something like that. A quick word, but it's going to set the foundation so you know what today is about. All right. So yesterday, God shared a word to us, and it was a relevant word about your bag and his sword, not the sword of God. Okay. It is the enemy's sword. And God was telling us that not only will he equip you with what's in your bag to use what's in your bag for his kingdom, for his glory, so that his name can be glorified, and for your victory. But even after that, he's going to allow you to use the enemy's weapon that was formed against you to kill and destroy, annihilate the enemy. Okay, so that's what we talked about yesterday. But today, God's got a continuation word for us, y'all. Are y'all ready? This is the continuation. So I know yesterday was about your bag, what's in your bag, and the enemy sword, okay, or the weapon that was formed. Today, this is what God told us. It's a caution. A tool is just a tool. That's the thing. Remember, in this season, I talked about God said you're going to use the tools that he's given you because you have more than enough. Sometimes we think we're inadequate and we don't have what it takes. And God is saying, nope, I've equipped you. I've empowered you in this season and you have more than enough, right? But a tool is just a tool. So we're going to kind of parallel that to yesterday's quick word, catch a word, right? And so what happened, David received the victory because of God. We know that. And he annihilated Goliath with Goliath's own sword. But that tool was just a tool God allowed him to use in that season. Okay, so let's look very quickly at 1 Samuel 21, 8 through 10. I'm going to read it very quickly for you. And I want you to go back because, again, this is a quick word that you're catching. Okay, go back and reread those scriptures. Okay, it's going to help you. 1 Samuel 21. So we were in 1 Samuel 17 yesterday. 17 yesterday. Now we're going to fast forward. Okay, all right. It says, David asked Ahimelech, do you have a spear or a sword? The king's business was so urgent that I didn't even have time to grab a weapon. I only have the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, the priest replied. It is wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. That's going to be key. It is wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. Take that if you want, for there is nothing else here. There is none like it, David said. Give it to me. Verse 10, so David escaped from Saul and went to King Achish of Gath. Okay, none of this seems significant. Let's put 2 and 2 together, Unity, so it makes 4. Got it. I'm about to do that. So listen, this is what happened. David received favor with Saul, but then all of a sudden, David got this clout. David became famous. People dancing and singing, Saul killed this many, David killed this many. Ooh, we love David, we love David. And all of a sudden it made Saul so mad. So Saul does not like David all of a sudden. Okay, David's got this big victory. He's on this cloud nine, but yet he's still humble. He's still willing to serve, but Saul does not like him now. And David's on the run. David trying to get out of there. I can't deal with Saul. Saul trying to kill me. So David ends up running to the house of God. Aren't we glad we can run to the house of God? We can, right? We glad we're God. However, he runs to the house of God as a place of refuge. And then he asks the priest, hey, I need a weapon. Okay. And he lies to the priest. He never tells the priest that King Saul, I'm no longer in his good graces. He's really trying to kill me and I'm really running away from him. He never tells him that. Okay. He says, I'm on some important business from the king. Okay. Little half truths here or there. And so what I need is I left so quick, man. I left my piece back there. Okay. And you might think to yourself, David, what piece did you have? Because David, you ain't killed Goliath with no sword. What you killed him with? You really hit him with that slingshot. That's what the Lord used. And you brought him down and then you chopped off his head to make sure he was dead with his sword. So David, you ain't really never had a sword. I know that's improper grammar. And I know I used to be an English teacher, but we're going to forgive me. Okay. Because I need to emphasize this. You ain't really never had no sword now, David. So while all of a sudden you acting like you had this in a previous season and that's what you do. That's not what you do. That's not what you do. You've always relied on the Lord. How many of us, okay, have had a victory? We start getting big on ourselves. We on cloud nine. We got a lot of good things going on, and we forget how far we've come. Or we forget where the Lord has brought us from. We forget that it wasn't really us or our intellect or our talents. It wasn't really anything that we had. It was really God that worked some things out and allowed us to get what we have. Maybe it's just me. Okay, maybe it's just me. But let's not get to the point where we forget, okay, where we are, what God has been doing in our lives. And so that's where David finds himself. And so the priest says, listen, I don't have physical weapons here, okay? The only thing I got here, and it happens to be behind the ephod, is the sword that you took after from Goliath, that you took to slay Goliath, chop his head off. That's all I got. Okay, because that's what y'all brought back. Y'all brought his head back. Y'all brought his sword back, and they wrapped his sword up and put it behind the ephod. Listen, that means David had to look beyond that spiritual thing, that thing that represents God's connection to his people, that thing that represents, see, the ephod was something that the priest put on. Okay, and on it had artifacts that had them memorialize where God had brought the children of Israel. It was something for them to all know that God has set us apart. God has not forgotten us. He's always been there for us. He's our deliverer. He's our peace. He's our waymaker. He's all of that. That ephod represented all of that. So David found himself looking beyond that to get the tool that he felt in his own sight gave him the victory over the Philistine in that last battle. Listen, the Lord told me to remind you all that a tool is just a device or implement, especially one held in the hand used to carry out a particular function. A tool is used to carry out a particular function. That's it. A tool doesn't have power if it's just sitting down. So I could use a garden tool. It has no power. It does nothing if it's not in my hand and I'm not working it. Okay. So a tool is not our God. It is just a tool, and we use it for a particular function. We could put it down, we can pick it up, but it's just a tool. Listen, the Lord also said a resource. Tell them what a resource is. A resource is a stock or supply of money, material, staff, and other assets that can be drawn on by a person or organization in order to function effectively. Again, a resource is similar to a tool. We pick it up, put it down when we need it. It has no power if and by itself. We cannot afford in this season to make the tool our God, to make the tool more powerful than our God. We have to remember that tool or that resource is just that, a tool or a resource. Okay, that's it. But God is our source. That's the thing. He is the source of our strength. He is the source of our peace. He's the source of our sustenance. He gives us everything we need when we need it at all times. We can never forget that God is the source and that those things he allows us to use, even our gifts and our talents, those are just tools or resources. He's going to use them for a particular function so that we can get the victory, so that he can get the glory. But that is it. So David forgets and he looks beyond the ephod and says, you know what? The Philistine sword is what I need to win this battle. I know Saul. Listen, if Saul comes at me, I'm just going to use the Philistine sword again. How many of you know that's not what God is asking you to do? That tool he used in that season for that particular purpose was just that. Okay? Don't go in there thinking and forgetting that it was God, the source, that gave you the victory. Listen, there were battles Joshua didn't even have to fight. And Joshua was a warrior. He could fight. Hey, what is it? I can do it. There were battles that he didn't even have to fight. All he had to do was show up. Why? Because God was teaching him, I am the source. I am the one that's going to give you the victory in the situation. It's not you. It's not by your power. It's not by your might at all, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Somebody there needs to be reassured today that it is not going to be anything that you have done, no tools. So if the tools leave you, that's the thing. If you don't have access to the tools anymore, God is still your source. God is still your strength. He's still your peace. He's still your way maker. He's still your sustainer. Even if those tools go, I still got God. Somebody type that in there. Even if the tools go, I've still got God. Some people have lost their eyesight, and yet they wonder, how am I going to make it? God is my strength. God will see me through this. I just got to lean on him. Some people have lost homes. Some people have lost cars. Some people have lost jobs, whatever it might be. And you're thinking, I needed that to get where I needed to go. I needed that for this, this, and this. And God is saying, no, all you need is me. That's it. All we need is him. So he may give us a victory using a particular tool, but never, ever, ever think that that tool or that resource is the source. God is the source. And we've got to rely on him in every single season of our life. Listen, if you are there and you're like, I hear you, but it gets difficult sometimes, I want you to stop and ask the Lord in a prayer. It's a simple prayer. Lord, show me the ways that you have been my source, and that those other things I've been relying on have just been a resource or a tool that you have used to bring glory to your name, because it's all about you. That's the worship that we really need to have. It's all about you, God. It is not about any of these other things. It's all about you. Let us no longer look beyond the thing that's in front of us, that spiritual thing that's in front of us, that's constantly reminding us of who our source is. For David, it was physically that ephod. He looked beyond that and got what was behind it, because he thought his strength and his protection lied in that sword. That's not where your strength and protection lied. It never did. And let us get back to the point where we remember that God is our source. All right. Listen, that is the word that the Lord has given us today. I hope you caught it. It was a quick word. I want you to go back and look at 1 Samuel 21, verses 8 through 10. And I want you to pray and ask God, show me, Lord, how you've been a source in my life, and how I don't need to just rejoice over the tools that you've given me in this season. Yes, they will help me in a particular function to function even more effectively. However, you are all I need. Somebody type that in there. God, you are all I need. That's a reminder. And that kicks the enemy in his face. God is all I need. So listen, I hope you caught that word today. I hope you were blessed by it. And if you were, you got to hit that like and share button. You got to tell somebody else about it so that you can now be a blessing. This word can also be a blessing to their lives as well. You never know what people are going through. Okay. So we've got one more day in this week that you will see me and catching the word. Look, hit that subscribe button so you get the reminder, or set your alarm clocks 12 noon. Tell your boss you need to take a break so you can catch this word. All right. I love y'all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you later.